Hi everybody, this is the second lecture for week 7. Okay, in the previous lecture you have learned about the supplier management. So you have learned about how to manage suppliers, how to identify good suppliers, how to calculate the supplier cost, and how to evaluate the performance of a supplier, how to maintain good relationship with supplier, how to get the most benefit from a supplier. So this is the second subtopic. It is about how to manage the inventory. So see here, the first thing that you can see here is holding inventory can help cope with uncertainties in customer demand and production process, excess quantity discounts, avoid future price rises, and avoid ordering costs. So the thing that you can see here is about why a business need to keep inventories. So if you have a business, you have to keep inventories. The reasons are like this, like you can see in this slide. If you have inventory, you can cope with uncertainties in customer demand. Sometimes customer suddenly request for more product or more. So if you have inventories, then you can prepare or supply the product to the customer. So that is why you keep inventories. The second thing is excess quantity discount. So the second thing is if you have a business, when you purchase inventories in high quantity, you can get discount. So you can get cheaper price if you keep inventory. So that is one of the reason businesses keep inventories. And then you can avoid future price rises and avoid ordering costs. So when you purchase raw material in big quantity, you save in terms of ordering costs. So the traditional approaches of managing inventory focuses on balancing costs of holding inventory against stock out costs. The thing is like this, the traditional way of managing cost is focusing on the balancing to compare the cost of keeping the inventory and cost of do not have inventories. So traditionally, or most of businesses now, when they want to decide about how many inventories they want to keep, they compare the cost of keeping the inventory with the cost of not having inventory. So they try to choose the optimum point between these two numbers. That's the traditional way of managing the inventory. Okay, so this is still about the traditional way of managing inventory. So this is about the economic order quantity. It is used to determine the optimum order size for individual inventory items to minimize the total ordering and carrying cost. So this is the formula. So you can use this formula to calculate how many to calculate when is the time to reorder the inventory. So economic order quantity is a formula that you can use to calculate when is the time to reorder the inventory. So you can see here economic order quantity in this example. I think you can see the full example in the textbook. So when you use the formula, you will get that the EOQ, or the economic order quantity, is 480 units. So So that is the order quantity and the reorder quantity. This point or reorder quantity point is determined by comparing the carrying cost and ordering cost. You can see that if a business keep too many inventories, then the carrying cost will be high. The ordering cost is low because if a business purchase in huge quantity, then the business can save on ordering cost, but the business has to pay high carrying cost. But if the business purchase low quantity of inventory, then the carrying cost is low, but the ordering cost is more because the business has to order frequently. So the optimum point is to find the point where the carrying cost is minimum and the ordering cost is also minimum. So that is the optimum point. Here you can see the intersection between the carrying cost and the ordering cost. You can calculate the point using the formula that you have seen in the previous slide. And then see, this is about the timing of orders under EOQ. Inventory reorder point, the quantity of inventory on hand that triggers the order. So EOQ is the economic order quantity, is the quantity of order that a business has to choose. Now timing, this now when is the time to reorder. So here the formula for the reorder point for the inventory is here. ROP or reorder point is equal to inventory used per period of time times order lead time plus safety stock. Okay, you can see here EOQ. Okay, you can see in this graph the EOQ is 480. EOQ has been calculated in the previous slide. There is you have seen the formula and also you have seen the graph. What is the good quantity for every order. So the EOQ is 480, and then in slide number 14 you have seen how to calculate the ROP, reorder point. So you can see here the reorder point is 192. So 2 weeks lead time. So 2 weeks before inventories is zero, drop to zero. 2 weeks before the inventory drop to zero, the business should reorder. Okay, the reorder quantity is 480. Reorder point is 192. When the business has 192 inventories left, the business has to reorder. Okay, timing of orders under EOQ. The safety stock equal to the extra inventory kept on hand to cover any above average usage or demand. Reorder point may incorporate a measure for safety stock, but the most important thing is you have to use the formula to calculate the EOP and ROP, EOQ and ROP. Assumption for underlying EOQ formula and calculation. So these are the assumptions. Inventory usage or demand is known and constant. Incremental ordering costs are known and constant per order. Acquisition cost per unit is constant. Entire order is delivered at one time. Assumption, these are two more assumptions. Carrying costs are known and constant per unit. On average, 1/2 of inventory order quantity is in stock at any time. Okay, that is the traditional way of managing the inventory. Now there is a new way. The new way is called just-in-time system or approach. Okay, see here. The underlying philosophy is based on simplifying production process by removing non-value added activities. What are non-value added activities? Non-value added activities are activities that do not add value to a product from the customers or business perspectives. Okay, this is an example of application of JIT in a business system for the Parmesan cheese grater. So you can see here, if you can see this in the textbook. Okay, one thing about the JIT is, remember about the traditional way of managing inventory. I have said that if a business using traditional way of managing the inventory, the business is trying to find a point where by comparing two things, the benefits of keeping inventory and the cost of not having inventory. So they try to find an optimum point where they can get benefit from the keeping inventories. Okay, JIT on the other hand is the business try to minimize inventories. When a business uses JIT approach, they only order or request for inventories when they need the inventory. They do not want to keep the inventory. They want the inventory when they need the inventory in the production process. That is the thing. So if you see this figure, the business will request for the inventories when there is a demand for the product and demand for production. That is the thing about JIT. Okay, see here. Key features of JIT production or approach. Materials are purchased as needed. So the business has no intention to keep inventories. They want inventories when they need only. So there are other things related to JIT. Simplified production processes. Purchases are in small lots. Quick and inexpensive setups. High quality levels of raw materials, components, and finished goods. Effective preventive maintenance. Flexible work teams. And then, see here. Okay, still features about the JIT. Okay, this is about the JIT production. Okay, so like I said earlier, when a business uses JIT approach, they do everything, try to do everything efficiently. So the effect is material are purchased as needed only. And then this is related to this one, JIT purchasing. So when the material is purchased or requested when needed only, so these are the effect on the way a business that uses JIT purchase material. So first, reduce number of suppliers, long-term contract with suppliers, quality target in suppliers contract, use of e-commerce application. So when the business is wants to have inventory only when they need it only, the business has to apply this JIT purchasing. They have to reduce the number of suppliers. They have to choose maybe as one or two suppliers, and then they have to have a long contract with the suppliers, and then they ask the supplier to to maintain the quality of the material that they request. That is the difference. So the burden is now is on the supplier. The business reduce the number of suppliers, sign long-term contract, and the burden to maintain the quality of the material is on the supplier. And then use of e-commerce application. So see in the previous slide, everything is done quickly using JIT approach. When they need the material, the business just order using e-commerce platform, maybe business to business platform. So you can see here, if a business uses JIT approach, the production process is efficient. The purchasing of material or inventories is easy and can be done very quickly, but the burden is on the supplier. The supplier has to efficiently or has to deliver the inventories quickly when requested by the business, and also it is the burden of it is the supplier responsibility to maintain the quality of the inventories. So JIT is good for a business, but it is a burden to the supplier. So there are several costs and benefits of JIT. Cost of JIT: first, substantial investment to change production facilities, increase risk of inventory shortage, adverse impact on small suppliers. So see here, if you have a business, you want to use or implement JIT, first, substantial investment to change production facilities. So you have to change the production facilities to make everything is efficient. Second, increased risk of inventory shortage. When you do JIT purchasing, it is good for you, but maybe the supplier cannot cope. The supplier has to send the inventories to you very quickly, and then they have to maintain the quality. Maybe they cannot do that. They sign agreement with you, but when you need the inventory, they cannot deliver. Maybe it is a burden for them, difficult for them. And adverse impacts on small suppliers. So when you use JIT approach and JIT purchasing, small suppliers most of the time cannot do the thing that you want. Small suppliers, they need more time when you ask them to deliver the inventory, and they difficult for them to check the quality of the product properly. So if you use JIT system, most of the time you have to deal with big suppliers. So small suppliers will not get business from your organization. So you have to deal with big suppliers. Only big suppliers can supply material quickly, and also big suppliers has the ability to more ability to check and maintain the quality of the inventories. But there are several benefits of just-in-time. First, saving in inventory costs. So you as a business, if you have a business, your business will get benefit. Firstly, by saving in inventory costs. When you use JIT, you do not need big space to keep your inventory, because you only order the inventory when you need them only. So there is no need to keep the inventory. like I said earlier, the burden is on the supplier. The supplier has to keep the inventory to make sure the quality. When you need them, the supplier has to deliver the inventory. That's the way. That is about the JIT. And then the second benefit of JIT is eliminates non-value added activities. So that's it for week 7. In this week, you have learned 2 subtopics in this topic 5. First, you have learned about the supplier management, and the second one is inventory management. Next week, you will learn about how to manage customers. Thank you very much. Do not forget to write your name and metric number in the comment section. So that is your attendance. And also, I hope in the later, maybe in week 8, I can share with you several sample questions related to this topic. So you can see what are the things that you have to know, what are the calculations that you have to master for this topic. Thank you very much.